Hello, everybody. Hello. It is Thursday already. I can't believe it. September 16th. If you're watching this from the future, I hope you enjoyed the day. Now, I think everyone's here, so just if you fell asleep during lab and you're watching again, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff together in class. So if you were planning on walking away, please don't. Let's do this work together. This is work that's going to help you complete all of the projects from here on out. If you skip today, you're going to be in bad shape. So let's get to work here. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to download this week's material, and I'll show you where I'm on the course page here, course content, and I'm in the lab folder. And if you scroll down here to Flats, Classwork 3, Illustrator Flats, and you get that folder, you will get a folder that looks like this. And when you go to extract it, depending on if you have a Mac, you don't need to do it. You can just pull these files directly out, and I want you to move them from your download folder to your Fashion Tech folder, wherever that is. And if you don't have a Fashion Tech folder, you make one. Okay. If you do have a PC, at the top here, you'll see something called Extract All. I have a different program here, so I'm not using the same one. You click Extract All. It's the same thing as this one, Extract To, and you can navigate to where you have your Fashion Tech folder, and then you could create another folder here called Flats. If you haven't already, go ahead and do it. And what we are going to do today is I'm going to open these three files. You know what? I can do it from Illustrator to be safe. Sometimes, if you haven't noticed already, a few of you with Apple computers, when you double-click on a Illustrator file, it'll open it with a Adobe Acrobat. That's a PDF program. So if you should right-click and say Open with Adobe Illustrator, or you can go directly to Adobe Illustrator and say Open File, Open, and then you're going to navigate to your folder. And I'm going to open all three of these: Sundress, Classwork Flats, and Body Templates. And when I do that, you will see I have here a JPEG of the sundress here. I've got the classwork we're going to do today, and body templates. And this shouldn't be here. So I'm going to no, I don't want to delete that layer. All right, so your file should look like this. Here, let me reorganize this. So the first thing we do when we open up an Illustrator file, any Illustrator file, there's three things we need to do. First one is go to Window, go to Workspace, and make sure you're on Essentials Classic. And if everything is all messed up, you have a bunch of windows open, and you're, let's say you're missing your layer panel, like you don't see your layer panel here. Windows, Workspace, reset Essentials Classic, #1, and then you'll see everything pop up where it should be, your layers panel. Everything looks in order. I have my ruler here showing. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's Control or Command R will make the ruler appear or disappear, and when you have that appearing, you can pull down guides. I'll show you how to do that in about 10 minutes. The other.
Can you go over how to open all of them again?
Excuse me?
Like, can you go over how to open all of the, like our classwork at once again?
If you have a PC or a Mac?
PC.
All right, so you're going to go to your zip file that you downloaded. It's probably in your download folder. And you will, you can right-click on it and say Extract Files, or you can double-click on it. And when you get your window, now I'm using a different program, but at the top of your window, you will see an option that says Extract All, probably be right around here someplace. Extract All. So don't touch anything over here. Just extract everything. And when you hit that extract all button, it'll give you, it'll show you your PC where everything is, and you want to open up this PC, probably either your desktop or your document folder. And I already have a fashion. Hopefully, you have a Fashion Tech folder. So I'm going to click on my Fashion Tech folder. And then if you don't have, I have a Flats folder already here. If you don't have one on a PC, you can do a backslash. You type in backslash here, and then you type in like the name of your new folder, like Flats, and then it'll create a new folder for you. And once you do that, you just hit the extract button, or my program's a little different. You'll hit an extract button. Mine just says OK, and then it would extract it. Once you have it extracted, you're going to go to your folder and look for that folder that you just made. So I'm in this is my PC. I'm going to go to my Documents folder. Here's my Fashion Tech folder. Here's my Flats folder. And these are my files here. And then you can see them here. Here's my body templates for Flats. And we can use this in the future if you ever want to make a real accurate drawing for a flat. You can take this picture and you can drag it into another artboard. If you want to crop the picture, all you have to do is grab your selection tool first and select the picture so the Illustrator knows which object you have selected. Then you'll see like a crop image option here, and you can adjust this picture however you want, whatever garment you happen to be tracing. And then we do have different body shapes. If you're doing children's wear, men's wear, or you want to do some plus size stuff, we have that available. For this exercise, you don't need to do any of that because I've already cropped and placed in this image here. We will be drawing on top of this file today, and what we're going to do is we're going to walk through how to create symmetry, how to create a flat that has one side that's exactly the same as the other, especially if the photographs that you have for your project one that you were supposed to have in class today, if your photograph that you have is kind of a little, you only need one good side. If one other side is kind of lopsided, we're going to trace just one side, and we're going to copy and paste it, and we'll join the paths to create a whole new side. We're also going to create an interior fill. This just goes through the process of layer management and creating an interior fill color, right? And then how to take this whole silhouette, including your interior fill, keep this back line right here, get rid of this neckline, and see, we're going to go over here, we're going to get rid of this neckline, and then we'll create this line here for our back, and we'll put that as our back, and then we'll have our front and back. One has an interior fill with front details, one doesn't. Then I'll show you how to do some grouping, copying, and pasting. And then I'll show you how to color these, even though they're grouped, how to color just the layer to give it like two different colors and even a pattern. Then we'll do some more practice here, just like for our project, how to take this photograph right here, and you can either go, edit, copy, and paste, or you can do a command, Control or Command C for copy, and go over here and Control V for paste. Here's your picture, and we'll just put that right in here. Once you have that picture in here, we'll go to our layer panel. We'll find the picture. Here it is, because you can see it. If I click it and I select the object, you can see this. A little indicator here says I have this image selected, and probably just delete that one. All right, and you can even label it. And then once I have it where I want it, I'm going to reduce the opacity by like 50%, and then I'll lock it down. And I'll walk you through that when we get there. All right. This is all to help us with our project one. Let me talk about project one for a little bit. If we go into our project folder here, project one is flats, right? You're going to create, and here's a detailed description of what we want. Illustrator flats for a top, bottom, and one piece, including the front and back, and these will be based on something you own, right? So It should be something that has visible stitches, visible construction details like darts. You know, no bikini tops. I'm sorry, no tube tops, no seamless skirts. You know, jeans are great. Button-down shirts are great. If you're gonna do menswear and you don't have a one piece, you could do a long coat. Theme and season need to be present. That's like 15 points. Please make sure. Okay. So we have 3 artboards here. You can read through this, and 1 artboard with our images. So here's some examples here that some students have done. You see on the side here we have our title. Any titles welcome except for Spring Has Sprung. If I see another one of those, I'm gonna flush my head down the toilet. Come on, stop that. And if you have Macaroons in Paris, please, if you're a Gossip Girl fan, I get it, but you can come up with a different title. I have so many of those. And then the theme should not be fall winter 2021. If you do that, you're going to lose 15 points. We are in like product development, product life cycle, product line development. I don't know. We need to design for the future. So we're going to pretend like we designed these flats and we're presenting them to our team, and they're going to go out and create these garments. So we need to make it by, we can't do spring, summer of 2022. That's too early. Earliest we can get some from this phase, from flats phase to being on the shelves, will be fall, winter 2022. And even that's cutting it close. So from fall, winter 2022 is the earliest. If you want to do a spring, summer collection, do spring, summer 2023. All right, so you notice we have our front flat here. Once you draw your one flat, you can group it and then copy and paste it 3 more times. So you have 4 total, front and back. Middle 2 are colored, last one has a pattern. I'll get you started here on your color story, and we'll figure out how to do our Pantone codes next week when we talk about color. We're going to put some temporary titles here for our colors. We don't want to put yellow, green, blue, or whatever. And we're going to have our patterns here. Make sure your patterns are labeled. The student didn't label their patterns. These are our bottoms here. Again, love the details here, stitch details, bow details. One piece, and our photographs. The student forgot the back side of all the garments here. You see how wrinkly this is? And so we're going to just trace half, and then we're going to copy and paste it. And that's how you get this perfect symmetry. She traced half of it. We have other examples in here from other students. Again, I like to see construction details, stitches, darts when possible. Here's the title for the patterns here. We'll talk more about that. Denim, I love to see denim. I love to see the stitching here. One piece, right? And then we have front and back, top, bottom, one piece. All right? So that's where we're going. Let's get started. So if you don't have a project 1 already, let's see if I have one from my Tuesday class. Did I save it? Yeah. All right, so this is what we're gonna, by the end of class, we'll have all this done here. So I'm gonna delete all this. So what you should have at this point is all of your photographs, which I think are here. Let me block my photographs down. All right, and then everything else, I think I can I can get rid of here. And as you can see, we have quite a few layers that go into making a project here. And I'll show you how to quickly, whoops. I know there's a faster way to do this. But. All right, so this is probably what you have for your project 1. It's not a bad idea to have this one open as well. and I'll walk you through the creation of this. Should I do that first, or yeah, let's go ahead and start our project 1 here. So of course you saw our title and our theme. All we need to do is grab our text tool right here, and we'll type out something. No, you can't see that, so I'm going to zoom in here. Spring has sprung, fall has fallen, whatever. Enough with the corny names. All right, so we need to put this sideways here. It's going to be hard to line this up perfectly without holding the Shift key. If you hold the Shift key, it snaps in 45-degree increments here. Let me show you how to change the font here. So here I have this, whoops. I have this layer here with some text on it, so let's take a look at it. Right here. And then, you know what? I should just delete all of this.
How do you change the size of the text?
Oh, let me show you. So here's the text. And after I finish typing, you have to go up here and click on the selection tool to get your little transformation handles turned on. Otherwise, if you're in your text tool, anywhere you click will just be more text. So I want to stop typing text. I'm going to click on this. Then you see your transformation handle. You hold your Shift key down here to make sure it's symmetrical. Get it nice and big. And we're going to try to find a new font, right? So all I need to do, once I have this object selected here, up here you'll see all your properties, the color of the fill of your shapes versus the outline. Yes, these actually, if you look carefully, these letters do have fills. Like if you were to change the fill color to blue and then change the outline to, like, say, black, you could do that as well. So they're just Illustrator shapes. Now, you also see the font here, right here where it says character. And you can highlight that, then use your arrow keys, and you can cycle through different fonts to see which one is more appropriate for your theme. You're going to choose a theme and make sure it is appropriate. So I don't want to see like something that looks like this, all modern and smooth, and call it vintage, organics or something like that. You could probably find something that's more appropriate for Holland. I said Holland. This should be fallen. Holland's good. I like that. This is what, papyrus? This is here's a pro tip. In the graphic design world, if you use the papyrus font, they will shoot you on the spot and bury you wherever you have fallen. Okay, so I'm going to find a font that, that I think communicates fall has fallen, okay? And to get this to rotate, I'm going to click on my selection tool, click on my font here. I'm going to go outside the corner to get it to rotate, and I'm going to hold my Shift key down to get it to snap. And I'm going to do a Control-0 to zoom out a little bit, or a Control- to zoom out and kind of see where I'm going. And I can adjust the size here to make it fill up. I also need
my text is not doing that. It's like when I try to rotate it, the box rotates, but the words are staying in the same position. And I still can't figure out how to make it bigger.
Here's what you're doing. So this is not PowerPoint. Some PowerPoint users or people who are familiar with PowerPoint, when they grab their text box, they click and they drag out like a rectangle, and then they start typing into it. And then what happens here is if you do that, I'll zoom in. It's hard to get. You have to, and you try to rotate it. This is what happens. The letters will start staying upright. They won't turn with you. So what I'm doing here is I am not dragging a text box out. This is not PowerPoint. This is Adobe. So what I'm going to do here is I'm I'm going to take my text tool. All I'm doing is clicking. I'm just tapping the screen, and it automatically puts in some temporary text in here. And if I grab my selection tool, I could, drag this out, hold my Shift key to get it symmetrical, and then I can rotate it if I go off the corner. This is with my selection tool, right? And so here, let me change the text here from this Latin to, and this is also an obnoxious font, so let me find a, all right, so here's my text. It's a little bit big, it's a lot big, and I'm gonna shrink it down. It doesn't matter, you can adjust it anytime. Now I'm going to I'm gonna copy and paste this. So I have my selection tool. You can hit copy paste, you can just grab the text tool again, make another layer. I'm lazy, so I'm just gonna copy and paste this. And I'm going to change this to spring, we'll do fall, winter 2022. And this text right here is a little bit too big. I can make it smaller. Here's my sizing right here. We'll go 60 point, right? This one here, if I wanted to make this dark blue and make this black, you can goof around with this all you want.
Your artboards go like horizontally across? Like mine are just like in a square, all four of
them. Right over here, there is an artboard panel. And right down here is a little zigzag shape. This is called Arrange All Artboards. And if you click on that, you can choose the zigzag square pattern which you have now, or you can choose Arrange by Row and just have them all shoot out to the right. I'm going to put a little rectangle behind my shape here. I'm not going to make it black. I'm just going to give it like a temporary color here. And then I need to put this behind everything, so I'm going to right click. I'm going to click it with my selection tool, right click over here to arrange, and I'm going to send it to the back. Here is my little title. And once I have this, oops, put on the rectangle shape only. I don't want to change my text here. I can adjust this to make it fit. And you see, once you have this here, it's pretty easy to, you can copy and paste it, and you can start, moving it to all your boards when that time comes. That time has not come yet, because we have more to do. So I'm going to move this over to the side. Now, it's important that we don't put this directly to the edge of the artboard, because what happens is when you print these out, there's always a little bit of error where the cutting of the paper happens in a printing factory. So we want to leave like about a 1/4 inch safety on the top and on the side. Now I'm going to create my color story. I can see here I don't quite have enough space, so I'm going to shrink this down a little bit more. All right. Now for our color story, we just need these rectangle tools here. And it doesn't matter where we draw them. I could just draw a rectangle right here. And I need 5 rectangles, right? So I'm going to take that shape, and I'm going to copy and paste. I'm holding down my my Alt key because I have a PC. The Option key if you have a Mac. I dragged out 2. I can copy these 2, drag out 2 more, and then you'll see there's little magenta guides here that will help you make sure your boxes are equidistant from each other. Click on this box here, copy and paste again. Once I have 5 boxes here, I can capture all 5 of these, and now I can, I can reshape all 5 boxes at the same time and get them to fit anywhere I want. I'm going to put them all right here under my thing. Let's hold my Shift key down. Zoom in some more here. Let's get these all lined up. These are still a little bit big. Let's give this a different color here. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit more. Remember I talked to you about those 3 things you have to do when you start Illustrator, and I said the first one was Workspace, Reset Essentials Classic. I forgot the other 2. The other 2 is you go to View here and make sure it says Hide Edges. If you see the word Show Edges, go ahead and click on it because we need to see our edges. And the third thing is we save it. So right now this thing says Han Tuesday Project 1. I mean that's correct. Hopefully yours says your last name Thursday Project 1. It just says your last name and Project 1. So to simulate that, I'll go Save As. I'll go to my Fashion Tech folder. I'll go to my Illustrator file. We'll call this one. I'm going to put Thursday in here because I need to keep these straight. Hit OK. Click through it. Now we see the correct title up here. All right. So here we have our
question. Yep. Sorry I didn't ask this sooner. My Wi-Fi has been cutting in and out. I'm trying to put like my text on top of the rectangle box, but my text keeps like going behind the rectangle. How do I fix that so the text like lays on top of it?
Layer panel right here. So layer panel, if you take your selection tool and you click on the rectangle, not the text, just the rectangle, you can look around here in your layer panel and until you find where you drew your rectangle. In this case, I put mine all the way in the back because what I did was I right-clicked on it and I said Arrange, Send to the back, and that sent my layer all the way to the back. But if you draw a rectangle, your rectangle is probably all the way in the front. If I go bring to the front, you're looking at something like this and you're trying to put your text on top.
Yeah.
All you have to do is go to your layer panel and see. You're going to find your text here that I drew. Fall has fallen. I'm going to drag this above my rectangle and drag my seasons above my rectangle. And now we see these 3. The text on top of the rectangle. And there we are.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. And I will move this up a little bit. All right. So I have my 5 squares right here. I'm going to grab all these 5 and I'm going to copy and paste them again down here and down here. And if you want to give all of these a black outline, you can. It's up to you. Just be consistent. Like if one of your boxes has a black outline, then all of them should have a black. So I don't want to see something like this where you have black outlines here, then no black outlines here. And then, it's Illustrator. We could always change everything later. All right. So there are my boxes here. Now, all right. So what we're going to do later is we're going to fill these with color. And next week, I'll show you how to do that. You can go ahead and put some like temporary titles here for your colors, like on top, color name, right? And this is a little big. Hold my shift key down. And you can put this either on top here or you can put it actually on the color. Just make sure that I can read the text. If you have a dark color, don't give me a dark text on top of it. I want these to line up, so I'm going to make my ruler appear, this ruler, with these guides. It's Control-R or Command-R for the ruler. And if you click up in the ruler and drag down, you can drag this little guide down. And when you drag guides down, any object will automatically snap to that line. So we can copy and paste our names here and make sure they're all in the same line. You can do that with the rectangles too. If you can't get the rectangles to line up, you can always pull a guide down and the rectangles will line up on that. When you're done with your guides, you just go to View, you go to your guides here, and you say Hide Guides, right? So we have our name here. We also have, we're going to put our Pantone codes down here, or you could put them down here. It's either place. I'll put mine this right here, and I'll make it a little bit smaller than the rest. And I'll put a guideline down here. So And I'll copy and paste that. And we'll fill these in next week. So this one, next week it'll say P, 130-3-C or something like that. We'll fix that when I show you how to find the Pantone code. And then blue won't be blue; it'll be like Zur or something. And then you'll have a name down here for your pattern as well. Oops. And we'll put a name down here for our pattern. I'm just putting these over here. And then what's going to happen next week is I'll show you how to make your patterns. I'll show you how to fill these squares. I'll show you how to, fill in your colors here from like an inspirational photo or something like that. And then once you have this color story done and your patterns done, all you need to do is take this. Let me clear my guides here. View guides, clear guides. Right. You can grab all this right here. And you know what? I could probably just put one guide right here on the bottom. And then if I grab everything, copy and paste it, you have a second one, copy and paste it, and there is our third page. So we're getting pretty close to finishing. Now all we need are the flats, right? So let me show you how to do the flats here. I'm going to go back over here to my, again, I showed you the body template here. I showed you how to click on it with your selection tool to crop the image. And I already did that for you here in this exercise. So we're going to be tracing just directly on top of these shapes, step by step. I'm going to show you how to do the front, the back, the interior fill. And I'm going to explain to you about grouping and layer management. So if there's no further concerns, then I'm going to start. Are we ready? All right. So here I am in this work that says classwork flats. So I'm going to do those three things that I always do when I open Illustrator: Windows, Workspace, Reset Essentials Classic, View, make sure it says Hide Edges, because I want my edges showing. And then I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save it as in my Fashion Tech folder, my AI folder. Instead of classwork flats, I'm going to call it my last name. You don't have to put Thursday. I'm just putting that in there because so I can keep all these files straight. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to trace what a lot of you will be doing if you're designing from a particular body type is you'll be tracing a flat on a body. So I'm going to grab my pen tool here. I'm going to draw with some black ink, and I will use a just a yellow fill just so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to start here at the neckline, and I'll make my first curve, and I need to make a straight line from there, so I'll clip this handle. And then for this armhole, you want this like 90 degrees, so horizontal, so I'm going to hold my shift key, keep that nice and flat. I'm going to click on that handle right there. And then I'm looking for this little magenta guide here to tell me when I'm lined up with my with this line here. Now this I made. Now don't close this shape. If you close it, you're not going to be able to join it. We're going to leave this shape open. So right here, I'm going to stop. I'm going to say P for pen tool. And I'm going to fix this because I put this anchor in the wrong spot. So to fix it, you use your direct select tool, this white triangle. Once you have the white triangle, you can move individual anchors. You can move these curves around. You know, if you don't like where the anchor is placed, you can hold the space bar down and you can release that anchor, put it exactly where you want it, and then adjust the curve. All right. So once I have this, I'm going to copy and paste it over here. I'm going to hold my Alt key, my Option key, and we'll do a copy and paste right there. Right. So that's step one. Step two is we're going to copy and paste again. I'm going to copy and paste again. Now this second copy, I'm going to change the color to purple here. And I'm going to copy and paste this over here. And I want to reverse it. I need to reflect it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to either, you can go Object, Transform, Reflect, or you can just right-click here and say Transform, Reflect. Right? So again, Selection tool, click on your object, then you go Transform, Reflect. And preview's on, OK. Hit OK. So there's my reflection. Oh, just a little warning. I'm going to be ending class a little early today. For the next month, I have to because my wife has gone out of the country for a month on sabbatical, so I need to go to school, pick up my kid, and then I got to go teach a fabrics class on campus. So I'll be probably getting out around 4:30. All right, so once I have this shape here, I'm going to copy and paste that over here. There's one shape. And I'll take this shape and I'll copy and paste that over here. And I have two shapes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with the direct select, I'm going to select two endpoints here, and I'm going to join it. Let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to grab my selection tool, and I'm going to zoom in here on these 2 points right here. Grab my selection tool. I'm going to draw a little box just around those 2 points here. And even though everything is selected, you'll see both sides are selected. I only actually selected those 2 anchors. Now I'm going to go Object, Path, Join. Or you could just right-click here and say Join. Either one. So grab these 2 anchors, Object, Path, Join. And then now you see the 2 colors are gone. Now it's one color because now it's just one object. So I see a little error right here I made because I didn't have my 2 anchors overlapping exactly. No problem. I just grab my white triangle here, grab one of these anchors, and you can just move it so that they're overlapping each other. Now you have a perfect flat silhouette. Right, so I'm going to copy and paste this. Oops, direct select tool. I'm in the selection tool. I'm going to copy and paste this over here. And I'm going to change this color back to yellow. And now it says we need to add all the details, right? Stitches, fold line. So let me show you how to do stitches. So I'm also going to open my layer panel here, and this is where we're going to have to start paying attention to layer management, right? So this layer right here that I just drew, if I click it with my selection tool, I can see on my layer panel which layer it is. It's this one right here. So I'm going to call this one Outline, or Tank Outline 1. You see that right there. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to start drawing my details here. Now there's 2 ways to do this. One way is to is to create a stitch line with the pen tool and then draw with the stitch line. The other way is to use a special brush definition, which we've provided for you. But these brushes, the stitch brush, the zipper brush, these are not on Illustrator files by default. You'd have to go back here, create a line, transform it into one of these brushes, then copy and paste it into a new document if you want to use that brush in another document. So like if I were to go over here, let's say this is a new document, and I look at I draw a line here. If I click it and go to my brush definitions, you'll see I have no stitch brush, no zipper brush. But if I go over here, if I go over here and I make a line and I turn this into a zipper or something, and then I take this and I cut it out and I go over here. Now over here, look, there's no zipper brush. But if I paste it in here, paste the zipper that I just did, now you can see a zipper brush. And then now I could take my pen tool and start, and whatever I draw I can turn into a zipper if I wanted to. Right? So that's how we do the zippers. For the stitches, you could do it with the stitches as well. Like you could go through and draw all your lines with your pen tool. Trying to find this curve here. There it is. All right. And then you could just click on it with your selection tool and choose stitches. Right. But I'm going to show you guys how to do this correctly. The correct way to do this is I'm going to grab my pen tool here, and I'm going to click on this. Let's make sure we're back on our regular line here, basic line. So I got my pen tool selected, basic line. I want to show my, here's the recipe for creating a stitch. You click right here on the word stroke. And then here is what's called the stroke panel. And I want to create a dashed line. Now, it's more than just a dash line. If I just have dash line selected and I create a line here, you'll see, take this fill off. You'll see when I zoom in, this dash line is hardly this stitch line, right? So it's too far apart. So if I go back up here, instead of 12-point dash, I'm going to type in a 2-point dash. Just type in the letter 2 here. If you hit enter, you'll see it's getting better, but these are still kind of look like highway dashes. So I'm going to 2-point dash, and then I'm going to round the cap, and I'm going to make it a little thinner, probably like 0.5, 0.75 or 0.5, one of those two. And then you have a stitch line. See that? And then once I have those plugged in, all I need to do now is just take my pen tool and draw any line, and it's automatically making stitches for me. And if you look at, and I put this recipe here in our lab. If we go back to our this week flats, here's the recipe: 0.75 or 0.5 weight, rounded cap, 2-point dash for zippers, or for stitches. And the zippers is just where you can find it, copy and paste it out. All right. So I've gone ahead and made the recipe, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep drawing with my zipper brush, P for pen tool, to clip those lines. The great thing about using this pen tool also, this stroke, modifying the stroke line, is you can change the color pretty easily of your stitches too. So if you had like a black garment and you wanted to have like light white or light gray stitching, then that won't be a problem. So you see here, If I wanted to change the color of all this, I can just grab all these and go, no, you know what? I don't want black. I want dark red or something like that. Now I need my fold line here, my square. I'll notice if I go back to my pen tool and try to draw a fold line here, it's still making a stitch. So I'm going to grab this line and I'm going to say stroke, and we're going to undo all this. Unclick dash line, unclicked rounded cap. We'll go back up to a 1-point thickness, and then there's our line. Now I can make a rectangle here. Here's a rectangle tool. It doesn't have to be a rectangle, but it is for this example, right? And here are all my details, right? So, but none of these details are connected. Right? So if I were to grab one of these and pull it out, it doesn't go with everything else. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to group all of these details. So you see how I did the outline separate from the details. This is very important for doing your flats. This will allow you to color your flats fairly easily. So once I have my outline sitting over here nice and safe, and here's my outline, and then you look over here at my layer panel, you have all these different layers. These are all the stitches and the fold line and all the details. So I'm going to take my selection tool and I'm going to grab all of these and I'm going to group it, object group. And now you see they're still here. Here are all those paths, but now they're inside this group right here. I can call this tank top details. And now you see, now I can grab these and I can drag them and stick them on here, right? Now if my outline were above my details, then of course you wouldn't be able to see them because the outline's on top of the details. So I'm going to put this outline under my details. And let's move this over here. Right? So here are my details. They are a little bit, let me adjust this. All right, I think that looks good. So once I have all of these drawn together and I have these two separate layers, I could even group this one. You know what? I'm not going to group it right now. Can I trust you guys? You can group it if you're not comfortable, but we'll have groups inside of groups inside of groups. I'm not done with this flat yet, so I'm not ready to group it. But if it makes your life easier, you can. I'm just going to be careful and drag both of these. Oops, I got to copy and paste it. Copy and paste it. Copy paste drag over here, and we need to draw this interior fill shape right here. So I'm going to take my pen tool and I'm just going to draw above this neckline. I'm going to try to approximate where these shoulders are, and I'm going to create like a curve. Then I'm going to create like this little shovel shape. And just to make sure I'm getting this right, I can go down here and I can make sure I have like the right shape here. I can go, all I'm doing right here is I'm going to match these corners here. So if I take my direct select tool and I move this anchor, now this whole shape is moving, so I need to select the anchor by itself with the direct select tool. So I need to unselect this whole shape, click on the empty space, then go back and click on the one anchor. Then I can move this one anchor anywhere I want. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to intersect it with that corner. Now I need this to go underneath my flat. So I'm going to go over here to my layer panel, and I'm going to drag this new shape that I made. We call this fill. I'm going to drag this behind my my details and my outline. Right? Now I have I finished the front flat. I can copy this over here. If you want to make this, it's not important that you match this shape. It's just important that the these two corners match up with those two corners, right? But anyway, once I have this done here, now I can group it. I'm going to grab my selection tool now that it's done, and I'll say object group. We can call this tank top front. Now if I open up this layer panel of this tank top front, you'll see I have the details group, I've got my outline, I've got my fill. All right, so let's move on. Now we have to work on the backside flat. So I'm going to copy and paste this one over here. And then I'll copy and paste it again. And it says here I need to add like these little details, a back stitch line for the neck and a little tag. So I'm going to zoom in here and grab my pen tool and what happened? Let's see. What happened is this layer was selected, so what happened was I drew an anchor on there. So I'm going to deselect this whole flat, and then I'm going to grab my pen tool and I'm going to draw my my stitch line here. And we'll grab this and we'll say no fill, and it's too thick. We'll go, let's go like 0.5 thickness. I need to make it a stitch. You know, you can grab this thing here, or you can go over here to stroke. We'll go rounded cap, dash line, 2-point dash. And if you wanted to make it red to match the other ones, you could. All right, so it's a little bit lopsided, it looks like. All right, so now I need to make my, my little square. We'll give it a white fill. Oh, I left my dash line on, so go back. Square cap, undash the line here. All right, selection tool. Here's my little back tag. You want to put a little message in here, hidden message. You're welcome to. Use pizza place across the street. Good thin crust New York style pizza. Who's gonna know? No one's gonna know. All right. There's my flat. If I want to group all this again, I can. Object group. Take a tag. All right. Now we got to make our back flats. So I'm going to grab this, move that over there. We'll copy and paste that. And again, I'm clicking it with my selection tool. And since it's all grouped, I don't have to click on any one individual line. Holding my Alt key until I get those two triangles out. Not the, or Option key if you have a Mac. All right. And you just drag it out here. So now I need to make my backside. So you're going to make another copy of this. So now you have two. You have your front and your back. And we're going to deconstruct it. So I'm going to go down here. And I want to pull this, I want to pull all these shapes out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of this and I'm going to say ungroup. And you may have to ungroup it more than once. I think I had 3 groups in there. Once you ungroup it all, you can pull your shape out here, and you can delete these lines. I don't need those lines. So to delete individual lines here, you have to use your direct select tool. I mean, some of them you can use your selection tool. Let's see. I can select this box and delete it. This text, I can delete that. This line. But see, this curve right here, I can delete this stitch right too. But this curve right here, I can't delete it because it's connected to the other line. If I click it, and hit delete, I delete the whole fill. I just want to delete this line segment. So to delete a line segment, we're going to grab your direct select tool, and I'm going to click on the path I want deleted, and just hit the delete button. And click on empty space to make sure nothing weird is selected. Click on the line you want deleted, hit delete again. Right? All right, I need to delete this this pocket here, so I'm going to go with my selection tool again. Since this is not connected to anything, hit delete, 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 and then click on that line, delete. All right, so did I never join these? I never joined these paths, it looks like. So I got this big V here because these were never joined. I thought I joined these. Let's try this again. We'll go down here, grab those two anchors. We'll say object, path, join. All right, now it's one shape. And I deleted that interior neckline, so it has a fill line stretching across. There's nothing connected here.
Can you go over how to join again?
Yeah. So you have a pen line, and then you have another pen line, and I'll put these together. Right, these are two separate shapes, and I'll illustrate that by changing the color here. All right, so to join those, I'm going to zoom in here. Grab your selection tool. You drag over the two anchors that you want to connect. The whole thing will highlight. Don't worry about it. Then you just right-click and say join, and now it's one shape. The other way to do it is you go object, path, join. It's the same thing. You have to be careful about orphan anchors, because let's say you have these two shapes here, and let's say you were trying to draw your curve earlier and you were like trying to line it up and you went like this, and then you were like, no, that's not it. No. Maybe you clicked over there at some point, clicked over here at some point, and maybe you have these hidden orphan anchors that are invisible, but they're there, and then you draw like too big of a box, and then you say object, path, join. Then you get something crazy like this. You're like, what happened? I didn't do that. These were the, you can see you have little orphan anchors here that are screwing things up. So what you'd need to do is you'd need to go in with your selection tool and look for those orphan anchors, hit delete. I got some, sometimes you can get lucky, you can find the anchor. All right, now if I grab this area and I go join, object path join, or just join here, it'll bridge that gap and put a line there. If I don't want that gap there, I can just drag one of these anchors over and intersect it. And there's my join shape. Okay, so there's my shape here. I need to create this line right here. So let me grab this whole thing. Oop, it got all ungrouped here. So let me grab all of this, regroup it. Now I'm going to copy and paste it over here. And I need to grab this line from my neckline, right? This interior fill line. I need to grab that and put it here to create my back. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this shape right here. I'm copying and pasting again. And I'm going to get rid of these lines right here. So I'm going to grab my direct select tool, And I'm just going to drag boxes around the anchors I don't want. I don't want that anchor. I don't want that anchor. I don't want this anchor. And now I'm left with just this little curve here, and I want to connect it right there. So we'll copy and paste that. So, whoops. So the reason why I'm having you copy and paste so much is just like in high school math class, they want you to show every step. So you need to show me every step. Now we got to connect this line to my flat. Now, can anyone tell me why it's why is it vanishing?
Because
It's underneath the layer panel.
Yeah, it's it went underneath. So I need to go to my layer panel, figure out which layer it is, right? So I don't see which one it is, one of these fills. If I click it, I can see that little light there. It's this layer, right? And I need to put that on top. So I'm going to drag that layer up to the top. And now when I drag this down, right? Let me zoom in here to see what's happening. So I need to take this line here, and I'm going to use my arrow keys here to try to adjust this. Not quite big enough, but you know, it doesn't matter. I can grab my direct select tool, and I can just drag those anchors over. Then we'll go Object, Path, Join, and it made everything gray. Object, Path, Join. All right, and we can change this color back to yellow. Where'd all my details go? Underneath. So underneath here. So let's put that underneath. All right, so there it is. Where's my back flat? Am I done? Oh, I need a stitch right here. So again, it's trying to add an anchor here. So I'm going to click on empty space, grab my selection tool, click on empty space, make sure nothing's selected, grab my pen tool. Then we're going to draw like a fresh line right here. And we'll select it. We'll turn off the fill. We'll turn this into a stitch. We'll go 0.75, rounded cap, dash line, 2-point dash. All right. Make that a red color like the others. Now that I have my back stitch done, oops, it looks like I skipped a couple steps. I'm going to group this, object group. All right, and that's actually over here. I went and I skipped all those. I skipped that step. Anyway, you'll do the. If you follow along here, you'll get that. So this is all grouped, right? Now check this out. I'll show you a trick here. I have a collection of objects. This is all in one group. So how do I get rid of one line if it's already grouped without ungrouping? Here's a shortcut. You can just triple click on whatever it is you want to select, even though it's grouped. You can triple click it. And this is called isolation mode. And you can triple click it 2 or 3 more times just to make sure you have that only one layer. Then you can hit delete and it's gone. Then double click on empty space and we'll get out of isolation. It's called isolation layer or isolation mode. Will it work if it's connected to another path? Let's try it. Triple click, triple click, triple click, delete. Nope. Didn't work because this was all connected. So to get rid of a line like this, you're going to grab your direct select tool, click on empty space, click on the line, hit delete. And I think that's what that shape looked like, minus the details. I lost my details someplace. Oh, I'm still in isolation mode. I was like, what is going on? All right, so once you have your back and your front someplace, I have a front. And again, I copy and pasted that. So once you're done with your back and your front, you can just group everything. So this is all one group now. And this is all one group. So now I can definitively name this. So I'm going to click on this one. And that one's called, it's called Tank Tag. Call this one, there's the final one. And I can move it up so I don't have to keep looking for it. All right. And then here's the back one. This one's called Tank Back. And I'll move this one up. All right, once you have these groups here, and you can see that I have them as groups because if I turn the visibility off, you can see them vanish. All right, so I'm going to take this one, I'm going to copy it over here. And I'm going to copy it 3 more times. We're going to do something very similar for our project 1. And then to change the color, this first 2 should be black and white. I'm just going to go on this outline layer, and it's all one group. So I'm going to just triple click here on this outline. And then I just want that one layer, so I'm going to triple click again because I have groups inside groups. I'm going to keep triple clicking until I get just that layer. And then I can change it to whatever color I want. Right? And then double click outside to make it go away, and there's my black and white. Right? And then for this one, I can triple click, keep triple clicking until I get that one layer. Well, that took a long time. Right, double click. And over here, we'll triple click.
You go over to get the black and white again.
You mean just change the color?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right here. So these are all grouped. I want to set, you can go into this. So I can click here, and I can go to my layer panel, and I can see which group it is. And if you want, if you want to go inside your group and find your outline here, right? Just the outline. You could just click on that and then change it to whatever color you want. But I'm just showing you a step where if you don't want to go hunting for within a group, all you need to do is just with your selection tool, just click on the fill part here. Since it has a fill, if it doesn't have a fill, it won't work. If let's say this, let me triple click here. Let's say there was no fill. If there was no fill, it would look like this. And if I try to triple click, I could triple click till the cows come home. Nothing's going to happen because there's nothing for me to click on. There's no fill. So I would need to click on the edge of the outline here and make sure I don't click on any one of these other shapes. If I triple click, can I right click? Exit. I'm in isolation mode. Let me see if I can color this. I'll give it like a white color. Then double click. There's my white color. And so I'm just doing that same thing for each one of these. This one's going to be a pattern eventually. Triple click. Over here is any number of patterns. Whoops. That's my fill line. Oops, that should be black. I'm sorry. That should be over here. Let me try again. Triple click. Triple click. There we go. Then we're going to choose a pattern. Double click. And it's going to look something like that. Once we make our patterns next week, that's what we're going to do. Let me try the back one here. I'll demonstrate it one more time. I'll demonstrate this like 3 more times before the day is over. But I'm just copying and pasting. And this one I'm going to triple click until everything turns gray. And then I could probably just go white here. Double click. This one is fine. This one I'll triple click until it goes gray. And then I can choose a different color. Double click. This one I could triple click. And then choose like a pattern or something. Right? Double click. And that's it. So now from here on out, I'm gonna show you guys how to get started with your flats, so that your flat project. So next week, you're gonna have all your flats done here, front and back, and with some temporary colors in. Put like a temporary color, just like I have temporary colors here. And then I'll show you how to save this as a combo PDF, and we'll upload that next week. But in the meantime, let me finish this exercise here. So this is just to help you, this is one more step, simulating what you're going to be doing for your project 1. So here, I have a photo here, and I showed this to you in the beginning of class. We'll take this photo, we'll just copy and paste it right in here. And once you have that, I'm going to go find the picture, and the picture is down here. Very, very first layer I put in. And I'm going to reduce the opacity by like, it says here, reduce opacity to 50%. So, and then I'm going to lock it. Then it says lock the photo right here. So I'm going to lock it. Now I can drag on this. Nothing's going to happen. So now I'm going to trace half of this dress, right? The first thing we need to do is our outline. So I'm going to click on the pen tool. Make sure we're drawing with like a black ink and not no ink, and then I'm going to turn this fill off. No fill, black ink, right? 1 point thickness, and I'll start at the neckline here, and I'm going to quickly do this outline here. Boom, boom, boom. We only need to do half, right? I'll split that curve. Try to find this center line here, pull it horizontally. All right, so there's my half. That's all I need, just this half. So I'll give it a fill just so you can see what's happening here. And then I need to, because a lot of the photographs that we took were not symmetrical, so once you have half, you can right click and say transform, reflect, or you go to object, transform, reflect up here. So I want these 2 shapes, and I'm just changing. You don't have to change the color like I do. I'm just doing that so you can see what's going on, that I am indeed changing 2 different sides here. All right, let's zoom in. And I'll grab these 2 anchors here, and I'll say object, path, join. And it joined it, but it's kind of a little bit, oops, a little problem here. So because my edges are showing, I can see where my anchors are. Grab my direct select tool, and I'm going to put that anchor right there. All right. Did it join? Object, path, join. All right. Here's my symmetric, oh, my bottom part. Easy peasy. All right. So there's my flat outline. So I'm going to go in my layer panel. We'll call this outline. Move this out of the way here. Or you could just you could leave it there and just turn the visibility off. And now I'm going to go and add my details, right? So you could even go over here to your layer panel and you could make a new layer and call it details on it. But you don't have to. You can just start drawing. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to start drawing my details. So first of all, I had some, like a little, there's a little hem right, a little seam right here. There was a seam right there. There's a little curve right here, little puckers. And if I wanted to grab these two little lines here and make them pointed, I could. These two as well. All right, so where's some more construction lines? I've got a line right here along the waist, and I've got a line, and you can see I've got a fill on my my lines here. Let's grab these lines and say no fill. You know, all these lines shouldn't have any fill. All right, so I've got, there is a dart right here and right here. There is a line. Maybe 50% is too dark, you can hardly see that. There was a line right there. P for pen tool. I do have some pleats right here. And I'll make those pointed. All right. Am I forgetting? The buttons. So we'll go over here to the ellipse tool. There's a little circle here. You can make that 0.5. Put this circle inside that circle. Make that a little smaller. Hold the shift key down. Grab both of those. I can group it, object group. Put that right there. Copy and paste that one. Copy and paste that one. Copy and paste that one. All right. That's enough detail. Oh, and then there should be like an interior, a back line right there. But anyway, I'll draw that in a second. So here's my outline here. Put back in. And I can go in and make some adjustments here to my with my direct select tool. Click on the anchor first before you adjust it. What's going on here? Okay, so there's one. So let me draw my interior fill here. You know what? Let me just draw it out here. It doesn't even need to be accurate. Oops. I mean, it has to be somewhat accurate. Make that, I'm going to make this a darker version of this yellow, right? So here's a yellow here, and I want to make this a darker version. So all I need to do is when you have an object and you click on it, you can see whatever color the object is. If I click on the blue, oh, it's in a group. anyway, if I were to change the color of this object, you'll see the color picker down here change in color. So I'm going to choose the same color, but I want it darker. So I'm going to double click on this color picker, and then it shows you a little circle here what color has been selected is bright yellow. If I go down to a dull yellow right here, my shape will change to a dull yellow. So I want the interior color to be a darker version of the exterior color unless you have a lining. If you have a lining, then you can change the color to the lining, like a gray color. But if it's just a light garment with no lining, just make it a darker version of the exterior by filling it with the same color, double-clicking here on your picker, and then selecting a darker color. And it will change automatically. And so I'm going to see if we can put this in here. All right, so I got to put this behind my outline. Let's zoom in here. We'll grab my anchors here. Okay, so there's my shape, and I'm going to grab the whole thing, and we'll group it again. Object group. We'll call this one dress. Right. So once you have this right here, we'll practice tiling, and then you can just copy and paste this over here. I'm going to resize this a little. Hold my Shift key down when I resize, and then we'll copy and paste. And if you copy and paste on top of them, it'll be like each one being on top. And if you don't like that, you know, you can move these over. You know, however you want to do it. And then if you wanted to change the color, the first one being black and white, we're going to triple click on that outline. We'll go white. This one we'll triple click on this outline. We'll go, you know, whatever color. And then this one we'll triple click and go into a pattern. And then that's how we do our project. So over here, here's our project. We're going to do this same thing. Did I lock this down? Must have locked it. All right, so you're going to take a picture here, and we'll copy it over here, and we'll do that same thing we just did. I chose a light colored dress so I wouldn't have to reduce the opacity by so much, maybe just 80 or so. And once you have this there, you can lock it, and then you'll start tracing. And then once you trace it, you'll have like one of these, right? And then once that's traced, you don't need to see the, you know, you can toggle the visibility of the image away. And then we just need to decide how big we want to have this. And then don't put the flats up against the edge of the artboard again. We need to have a little bit of a safety space. And then we need to, some students will just make it plain old, you know, a plain old arrangement like this. Some students will get fancy and, you know, maybe do one of these. Hold the Shift key down if you resize everything. All right, so make sure that not touching anything like this. You got to give a little bit of a good safety here. Let's try not to have too much dead white space. So yeah, you know, however you want to do it. If you can fit it all in here. If you want to put that one on top, maybe. It's up to you, however you want to arrange these. If they're grouped, it makes moving these around a lot easier, and then it also makes the color change easier. White. And again, we're just using temporary colors right now because we don't have our, I haven't given you the information on how to select your own color story, and we'll do that next week. And then you'll have those, your front, you know what, I did that wrong. You need front and back. So we'll have like front up here, and then we'll have our back over here. So it'll look something like this, where you have like your front and then your back taking up all the space. And you'll do that with both your one piece, your top, your bottom. So it'll all look like this when you're done. And by lab time next week, you're going to have that tank top exercise that we just did. That's practice. We're going to work on that now. And then on your own, you're going to take what you learned and you're going to finish your project one up to this point. You have your boxes here, you have your title, your theme chosen. It's got to be at least a year in the future. Your pictures over here, and then your top, your bottom, and your one piece, front and back, grouped, temporarily colored, and temporarily have your patterns in there. All right, so get to work on that. I'm going to stay here and answer any questions while you guys work on your flat homework, work on this one. So go ahead and give it a go. And I'll be sitting here answering any questions. Get to work. We're going to work for another 45 minutes-ish. Unless everybody finishes early, then we can just go. What am I forgetting? Let's see. So here on Blackboard, here's some little reminders on how to get zippers and stitches. Oh, I didn't use the Spark presentation. Let's see. All right, Monday class is behind everyone else. Everything's due. Quizzes, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to go through. It was all covered very well in the video. Here's another more instructions. Everything I just explained. Flats due by week 4 by midnight. So what'll happen is next week you'll come to class with this much done, and then I'm going to show you how to make your Pantone codes, your Pantone colors, and your patterns. And we'll do 3 of them in class. So all you need to do is come up with 2 more patterns, and then by midnight next Thursday, you'll save this as a combo, and then you'll upload it. So let me show you how to save this. So of course, just to save the Illustrator file, we just hit save, save as. Make sure you're saving it where you can find it. Make sure the title is descriptive. And just hit save. It says you already have it saved. You want to replace it? Yeah, with my new one. Then to create a PDF, we don't need to make a combo PDF. It's already going to combine this. We just go File, Save As. Here you select Adobe PDF. We're going to put this into I'm going to put this into my PDF folder here. And then I'll hit Save. And then there's those 3 areas you have to change: General, Compression, and Output. General, we're going to take the preset off of the default and put it on smallest file size. Make sure this is unchecked. This is what makes your file over 20 megabytes. If it's over 20 megabytes, you get a 0. So make sure this is unchecked. Compression, we need to keep our image quality high in both places here. And then output, we're going to say no conversion. We want to keep our colors the way they are. And you hit save. And that's what you're going to upload. I mean, you're not going to upload project 1 until project 1 is due, but this one you're going to upload into the homework space, which is right WGSN. So here I put another portal here for WGSN if you want to go there. You got to use this portal to gain access to the website. And if you want to see some flats to give you some ideas of how to trace stuff, like if you're having trouble tracing things, you know you have a good bow. Like, so if you look at this example here, this student on her shorts, she saw this bow right here. She had a heart. She didn't want to trace it because it was all wrinkly. But look at her bow right here. It's so nice and perfect, right? So what she did was she went to WGSN, and I'll show you how to find flats here. If you go over here to Design Resources, and then there is a CAD library. Is this the CAD library? Let's try this. And they have all kinds of flats that you can draw inspiration from, right? I don't want you tracing these flats outright because that would be wrong, but there's nothing that says you can't trace details, right? So we want to figure out how to trace that bow. So here we have filters here. So I'm going to say for market, I'll say women, and then I'll say embellishment and trim right down here. I don't see bows here, so I'll say view all embellishment and trim, and then here's all the embellishment, and I see bows right here. So bow. And then, you know, you see some nice bows here that are drawn very nicely. And let's say I want to have this bow on my shorts, right? So I can just sometimes you can copy the image. If you can't copy the image, just take a screenshot. For a Mac, it's Command-Shift-4. For a PC, it's Alt-Print Screen. And then once you have it copied onto your virtual clipboard, all you got to do is go to your artboard here and hit paste. There's your picture, right? And I'm going to shrink it down. And then just like we did before, here's my layer panel, here's my image. I'm going to click on the image, I'll reduce the opacity 50%. I'm going to lock the image down. Then I'll grab my pen tool and I will start tracing, right? Boom, boom. And you start tracing your bow here. And I'm not going to do this whole thing, but I always say that and I end up doing the whole thing. You know, real quick and dirty. All right.
On the shirt that I'm doing, it has a bow that ties in the back. Would I draw that on the front, but like fill it with the color fill? To
If
show
you can
through on
see
the
it.
back?
So like if you can see the bow on the front, then draw it. If you can't see it on the front, but you can see it on the back, just draw it on the back.
Yeah, it like ties at the waistband, so then you would see like the bottom of the bow from the front.
Yeah, you could draw like a little bit. Just put it behind your flat. You could draw like the whole bow. So if let's say you draw the bow for your backside, you could take that object, copy and paste it over here, stick it behind this layer, and then reflect it. Just make it backwards, and then it would be sticking out, and it would be the exact silhouette of whatever you drew for your backside.
Well, it's like the center back, so then it would just have like the bottom of the bow tails. from the center of the back, hanging down in the front?
You know, the flats is like a technical guide to help people construct it. So if you think it's important that they be able to see that while they're studying the blueprints for your garment, then include it. But if you think it's covered well on a different side view, like a back view, like just because it's in the photograph, it may not necessarily mean it has to be visible in construction. You know what I'm talking about? Like, because the way you laid it out, the bows kind of flare out to the side outside of the outline, right? Outside of your main flat.
Well, the bow is like on the shirt, the waistband, it like ties in the very center back of the waistband. So you wouldn't be able to see it from the front, but if it's like laying out flat, you can see the tails of the bow hanging down. So I didn't know if I would need to draw that in.
Just draw it on the back side and you'll be fine.
Okay.
Unless it's like the neckline is so low you can see it through the front.
No.
If you can see it through the front, then you draw the back side of the bow through on the front flat.
It's like at the bottom.
Maybe you should share your screen with me because I can't understand what it is you're talking about. So I'm going to give you. Is this Tamia?
Yeah.
All right, I'm giving you permission.
Okay, how do I do it?
At the lower right corner, there's a pink tab. You click it, and then you'll see like a little share content icon. And you click on share content, and then click on entire screen.
Okay. So is it sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the shirt, and then like the bow ties here. Would I draw like the ends of the bow in the front?
No. I'm going to say no.
No. Okay.
I'm going to say no, yeah. I mean, unless, so when you wear it on your body, it hangs straight down then?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you need it.
Okay.
This, you know, if you want to, go ahead, but I'm not going to take off points if you don't include that one. Paige, did you have a question?
I never figured out how to like group. It kept giving me like a weird error message.
Weird errors. I love weird errors. Let's see your weird error. Can you share your screen?
Okay. Hold on. I have to figure
There's all kinds of reasons why it won't group. One of your layers may be locked.
Wait, how do you share your screen again?
Lower right-hand corner, there's like a lavender pinkish tab. I'm a little colorblind. I'm not colorblind. I see color. I just don't know the names of the colors very well. I'm like color apathetic.
Okay.
It's like pink. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so like, don't you use this and then you click
No.
Here?
No.
No.
Yeah, okay, I gotta change those instructions, I guess. Use your black triangle and draw like a tiny little box around those two anchors. Yeah, and hit Object Path Join, or right click and say Join, either one. Object.
This is going to keep popping up.
Oh, so here's what you did. I'm gonna show you what you did here. So I'm gonna take the screen back. Can you stop sharing? So your shapes are closed. So if you're having the same problem as Paige, like let me show you what she did. And you're not alone. Everybody does this. So when you drew your first shape here, you didn't leave it open. What happened was you had ended up closing the shape, so that when you have two shapes here, and then you went to then if I were to grab these two and try to join those, I get that error message. So what you need to do here is you need to delete this line. So you're going to grab your direct select tool, click on empty space first, then click on that line and hit delete. And do that for both sides.
I don't have a line. Unlike the first one, there's no line right there.
How about the second one?
Oh, what's it?
Did you find it?
Hold on 1 second. No, I don't think there's a line on this one either.
All right, share your screen with me again. All right, maximize your window for me. Now, let me see your layer panel. All right, now click on, okay, so scroll down a little bit so we can see your two shapes that we're trying to join. I mean, not on your layer panel, I mean, let's on your actual file.
Oh. Like right here?
Yeah. All right, so drag, okay, so are those grouped right now? No, here, just click on the purple one. Just click on the purple shape.
It won't let me.
Yeah, okay, now, so they're grouped. So what you want to do is go up to object right now and say ungroup. Go object, ungroup.
They're not grouped. Okay.
Oh wait, it's not grouped.
I ungrouped it.
I'm sorry, what?
I ungrouped them.
Okay, now try to join them.
5. You did like the little.
Yeah, tiny, yeah, a little bit. Then object group or object path join.
Like,
Compound paths, closed path, text object, live paint group. Now, the screen resolution isn't, can you email this file to me?
Sure.
And I'll take a look. So you're going to have to save it and then.
I'll email it now.
Do you have my email?
Yes. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I just sent it.
All right, I got it. Let me see. All right, so this is your shape, and this is how you sent it to me. You sent it. It looked like this. So this is what you had, right? And I was like, you have to remove this line. You were like, oh, there's no line there. So here, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take this fill off, and then I'm going to add the outline back in, and then you can see that there is a line right here. Let's see if there's one over here too. And so yeah, so you have two shapes here with this line drawn in. So I'm going to delete these two lines with my direct select tool. And you couldn't see these lines because you had your you have this your stroke line, you had it at null. You had like no stroke line, but you had like fill colors, so it looked like there was no line there. But you know, if I were to add my line back in, oops, you can see there is a line right here. So just because you don't have a color on your outline doesn't mean there isn't an actual outline there. So here, I'm going to show you how to delete this line. Just use your direct select tool. Click on empty space. Click on the line. Hit delete. Same thing over here. Delete. Now, when I join these two paths together, and I'll make one a different color just to show you what's happening. I'll grab these two anchors and say join. Now we have one shape.
Got it. Thank you.
No problemo. Keep working, everybody. About another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to have to 10, 15 minutes, and then I'm going to have to run away.
Question.
Chloe?
Yeah. So I wanted to do like a winter collection, but I feel like dresses don't really fit winter. So am I able to do like a heavy coat?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. It's a lot of detail on your coat. I mean, coats tend to have a lot of detail, so if you want to take on that challenge, that's fantastic. I love it. I should ask everyone to do a coat. Because I'm gonna share my screen here. I'm gonna show you guys an example of what I don't want. And I have to say this because I always get somebody who does this. Right, so I don't want you to do this. I do get flats that do look like this once in a while. And go, it's a bikini top, you know, and then they go like this. But then they go, they take this thing, and then they copy it, and then they paste it again. They go front and back, and no. You're gonna get a 0 if you do that. I also get some students that do this, like, and they'll be like, nailed it, you know, it's my skirt, it looks just like mine. And then they'll show me a picture of a skirt that looks just like it. They're like, it's an exact copy, Mr. Han. You see, it's seamless. There's no darts, there's no seams. So this is exactly what my photograph looks like. How can you give me less points? You know, I need you to show me details. So, you know, if you wanted to, you know, go in here and, you know, draw a pocket, then draw some like hemlines, you know, and draw like another hemline up here, maybe some double stitching with your pockets. Let's look at that. And then you wanted to, you know, draw in like a you know, you're welcome to create little details like that. I just love seeing the stitches. You know, you add stitches in there, you'll guarantee yourself a better grade. You know, you want to do something like this, then that's a skirt. That's not a skirt. But I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Just more detail. Not this. Just give me details. And then, you know, if you wanted to use WGSN and trace out a detail like this, pencil tool. Don't use the pencil tool. This is awful, but I'm just kind of pressed for time here. It's all crazy. Would have been easier for me to just draw this correctly first time. And this is why you don't use the pencil tool. If I had done this with the pen tool, I wouldn't be fussing with this right now. All right. All right, close enough. So say I have this thing right here. So once I have that, I can get rid of my photograph. See this bow here? So I went and copied a bow, horribly, but you can, of course, do it much better than how I did it. And if you needed a bow, you didn't know how to draw one, you know, you can always go to WGSN. And we've got some layer issues here. All right, fuck it. Excuse me. No one heard me say that.
I'm recording, am I? Oh, great. All right, about 10 more minutes. And why don't I trace that again correctly? Instead of butchering it like I did. Probably just all the way back here and then use now for my details. Group all those. All right. I've copied this bow, and let's say I wanted to add it to a dress here. And I'll show you how to do a live paint next week. So right now, when I put my bow here, you'll see I have some of these have a white fill, one of these doesn't. How do I put color into there if I've just mashed all these lines together? You can do something called a live paint. We'll do this next week. And then you're going to go grab your paint bucket tool and your swatch panel, and you can choose a color. You know, I'll choose like a so I kept my details separate because oops, these have a fill, so that I can put these on top after I putting color. Oops. Forgot some color there. There we go. Now I can group this. And I can resize this. And you want to add a bow? You can add a bow. All right, so a little extra bow bonus fill. All right, if no one has any other questions, then I'm going to excuse everyone a little bit early so I can go run some errands. I'll be on Slack if you have any questions. Friday tomorrow after 1:30, from 11 to 1:30, I'll be teaching this exact same class again. If you wanted to go sit in on that, you're more than welcome to come if you wanted to hear it again. Usually my Friday classes go the smoothest, so if you want to watch something in the past, you want to watch the same one, you can watch this one. You want to watch another one, be my guest. Doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. All right. If no one has any other questions, I'm going to call it. Class is over, everybody.
Thank you.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Keep working. Devin, did you have a question? Or, all right, I'll talk to you later, Devin.